The Pebble smartwatch is the pioneer of many things. Number one, smartwatches. Before the Pebble, we really didn't have true smartwatches. Number two, the whole crowdfunding concept. Before then, we didn't even know what crowdfunding was, and it wasn't really in the mainstream until the Pebble came out, and that really was the Kickstarter for Kickstarter. And since then, there's been many crowdfunding websites that have popped up to capitalize on the success. The Pebble was a hit, smashing their original goal of $100,000 by getting $10 million. But now, the Pebble is facing some stiff competition from some big players like Android and Apple. This is my first experience with the Pebble, so I can't compare it to last year's version. And this review is going to be solely on my experiences with this year's version. I'm not overly in love with the Pebble's look. I gotta be honest, it looks like a children's toy. So I opted to toss on a slick wrap on it. As I mentioned in a lot of other videos, carbon fiber just looks really good to me. Now I'm aware that the steel version's coming out soon, but this version right now just looks like a children's toy. Pebble also uses a normal band size at 22mm, so you can easily replace it out if you want to switch it up or even buy your own metal band. The default band is made from silicone. It's nothing exciting, but it gets the job done. The face of the watch is very bezel heavy. And comparing it to something like the Moto 360, there is a huge difference. The Pebble really feels like a hipster toy, and I really feel like a nerd wearing it, versus the Moto 360, which could pass as a normal watch. The Pebble looks like a tech item no matter which way you slice it. And for me, the objective of a smartwatch is to appear like a real watch while having smart functions. The Pebble supports water resistance and also 7 days of battery life. Even after the 7 days of battery life, my Pebble still was just displaying the time. And I couldn't do anything else, but I still had the time on the watch, even though the battery was actually dead. And it lasted like that for several more hours. And that's my favorite feature of the Pebble, the awesome battery life. It makes me jealous when I go back to my Moto 360, knowing that I have to charge it again that night. Now, speaking of the charger, it uses this weird 2-pin connector, and it's not really elegant at all. But since the battery on the Pebble is so good, I really don't mind. Now you can go from dead back to 100 in just a couple of hours, so I really give Pebble the pass on this one. Also, to achieve that great battery life is using a colored e-ink display that is a backlit LED. The display is a tough glass, and it also does well against scuffs so far. Now I'm done with the aesthetics. Let's talk about how the watch actually works. The initial setup process is pretty simple. Install the Pebble app, and you're pretty much ready to go. If you're on Android, to take a full advantage of it, you need to install Android Wear application. Without that, you're pretty much stuck with just notifications. On Apple devices, you're pretty much stuck with just notifications. You know, Apple saved all their good APIs, obviously, for the Apple Watch. What a surprise. Now, the Pebble is more application driven than notification driven. Now, let me explain this to you. Sure, you can still access notifications, and if you're on Android, you can interact with them like you do on Wear. But this is application driven, not Pebble driven. So in Hangouts, you can do things like voice respond, emoji, and also templates. And different applications have different options. The applications you access, you install those via your phone from the Pebble store. And all the usual suspects like ESPN, Fitbit, and all those guys are in there. The applications stay open as long as you want. So if you're monitoring that baseball score of the Tigers game and you're watching it on your wrist, if you keep that application open, you can keep looking back at it to see an updated score. You don't have to flick around or swipe around to get to it. And unfortunately, being a Tigers fan right now, that's not a good thing. Now, it's really cool to see that applications can really take advantage of the e-ink low-power display. For me, what I love about the Pebble, besides the battery life and the e-ink display, is the fantastic animations. Notifications flip in, and anything you do on your watch has some sort of cool animation to it. It makes things a bit enjoyable, but at the same time, it ties back to what I said earlier. It looks like a toy. The animations come in and they look nice, but they remind me of Roadrunner and the Coyote. Just by you see like a dust trail going behind different applications or when you send a message. It just sort of looks like a toy. So here are my final takeaways. I think the Pebble watch, as far as practicality, is top notch. Extreme battery life, water resistance, an e-ink display that you can see in all brightness situations, that's good. But functionality, it's not. It doesn't integrate into Google Now, and with Apple, it does less than Apple Watch. There's a great Pebble community out there, and I'm not denying that, but the competition right now is way too stiff from Google and Apple. So Pebble, you're one of the originators of the smartwatch. You brought the smartwatch to the masses, but it's time to change. It's time for you to evolve and show us what the next smartwatch should be. It's your move. My name is Kevin the Tech Ninja, and I'm struggling right now to get this done correctly. So anyways, go ahead and drop me a like if you like this video, and also click subscribe if you want to subscribe to my channel for more great videos and giveaways. Also want to give a shout out to the Scope Squad. I'm streaming this live on Periscope right now, so make sure you follow me on Twitter and also Periscope at Tech Ninja Speaks. I'll talk to you guys later, and see ya.
James, how does the Tech Ninja go?